Well, hello again, once more. So, I guess this will be for now, my last of the three videos that I intended to upload with final impressions. This time, I will be talking about a series that I think it started more than a year ago, entitled Saint Seiya Omega. Um, and as a huge fan of Saint Seiya, after all, it was an anime series that I saw uh, when I was on my younger days, uh, when I was a kid, and I do, for me, Kuramada Sensei is on a status, uh, almost godlike status inside for me, and probably for a lot of people of my generation. Um, Sensei is one of those works that are eternal and will always be present and remembered in the story of manga and in the story of anime. Like the first Gundam series and others, great series from the past. And I consider myself lucky in a way because I was born in an age that I could access and saw those fantastic and splendid works. And Kuramada Sensei is by far uh, almost a person that for me is in a godlike status inside the manga world and the manga community. But besides that, this series, Sensei Omega, was a series that started as original anime series, inspired in the work of Kuramada Sensei, but that take a different path. And I kinda understand the concept of behind the series, that basically is the concept of passing the torch to a different generation of saints, the saints of Athena. Uh, and I must say that at first, when I started to watch Omega, I was kind of, I will not say disappointed, but the concept which they bring back the series after the Lost Canvas, and they never actually ended the animation of Lost Canvas. It's a shame. I hope that someday they do it, but the last uh, information that I have about it is that they are not planning to do it. And at this point, we also know that Kuramada Sensei is working in Sensei Next Dimension, and that's a chance that Next Dimension will got animation series. I did read this. I don't remember where, but I did read something about it. But I'm not sure. But I would love to see Next Dimension animated, without a doubt. But the series Sensei Omega, at first, like I was saying, the concept they bring back the series, a new generation of saints. for me, fine, no problem. But the way they bring back the concept of elements and using elemental stones to access the powers and such, it was strange knowing, or since I know uh, Senseiya universe and Senseiya's plotline in is different situations, either original Senseiya, last canvas, next dimension. There are other that is against Kronos, the the Titans that I don't remember the name at this point, but I'm one of those followers that keep up or tries to keep up with all the works related, supervised, counseled by, in a way, Kuramada Sensei, based in his original work. So the concept, the initial concept of Sensei Omega was kind of hard to digest for me, and but the fact that is a Sensei series that was released almost after 20 years, a new series, I was quite happy because they restarted the Sensei universe. Um, I watched the first arc. There are a lot of stuff that I do not appreciate it in this series. For instance, they diverge from the original concept of bringing Roman mythology into the plot, because the original work is related with Greek mythology, the gods of ancient Greece, and the first main foe that the, the new saints needed to defeat was the god of war, Mars. That Mars is the war of God, the war god of the Roman Empire, and I was not found about using Roman names for the gods. I wish, and I would have preferred that instead of Mars they call the god of war Ares. That is the name that the god of war possesses in the Greek mythology. Then they kind of introduced the god of darkness, Apsu. Apsu is kind of reminiscent of Semitic mythologies, Sumerian mythologies and such. So I was not unhappy about it, but it was interesting in his own way. Uh, then they go and bring to the story Pallas and the Pallasides, and at that point when the story changed to Pallas and against Pallas, was more happy about it because Pallas was also a Greek goddess, and it was approaching what I knew and remember of the original Sensei series, and they also bring back the old in a way, Sensei, Saint Seiya, Yoga, Shiryu, and Shun. They never bring back Iki at that point in the story, and I was quite bummed about it because Iki was one of my favorite characters in the Senseiya universe. But and they also kept some characters that were quite interesting, that remained from the first saga against Mars. Taurus Arbinger. Taurus Arbinger was a very interesting character and is, without a doubt, a very interesting character. And I love the way they ended the series regarding this guy. Virgo Fudo also appears to be a very interesting character. Gemini Paradox It was a very strange character. Um, Libra Gimbo was also interesting, and other new gold saints they bring back in the fight in the Ark Sanctuary against Mars. I found them interesting, and the ones that survive until the end of the series, they are without a doubt the best characters, and I love the way they ended the series in that way. But this final arc, I dislike the way they kind of used, in a way, the legendary saints, and they kind of make them a lot more weaker, a lot more powerless against the enemy. Uh, I do understand the reasoning behind it, obviously, because the series is more about the new generation than the old generation. Nonetheless, I was not very pleased about the way they took those characters and put them inside the story. They near in the last couple of episodes they kind of try to do not offend the fans of Sensei about the way they have portrayed the sense. But I must give props to the producers of the series because they do have or do give more airing time to other bronze saints that are hardly talked during the Sensei original Unicorn Diabo, Birgeki, Wolfnachi, and Leonette Ben. Those were characters that were hardly used in the original Senseiya, and especially Jabu. He was one of the characters that at the start of Senseiya he was one of my favorites at the time. But they did well in bringing in, gave more airtime and more story and even more development to those characters. So the producers of the Omega series, in my opinion, did very well in using those characters and develop them in a way, but at the same time making them still Saints was kind of hazy. But and then the final part against the god of time, Saturn. Again, they pick up into the Roman mythology, and if they did follow the Greek mythology, it will be Kronos. But I know that in next dimension, the main antagonist is Kronos, or one of the antagonists is Kronos. So I kind of understand why they cannot pick up in that with that name, but nonetheless, this last part was interesting, and the appearance of a character that is later revealed to be the reincarnation of the god Saturn. It was interesting. So on the overall, I do like the series in a way, but there were several aspects through all the series that I disliked. But I guess that this dislike is related with me being a follower and a person that grew up with Sensei original and continues follows the work related with Senseiya or even the works that Kuramada Sensei does in this universe. So I kind of understand that probably my opinion is could be possibly highly contaminated in a way by this previous connection with the original series. But if I was someone from the new generation, if I have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, at this time, probably I would have loved the series the way they did it, because I do not have all that past, all that background with the series. So on that regards, I think the producers did a good job, well, a good job with Omega. I do uh, enjoy the series. Um, I liked the way they ended. They were very clever. Uh, the way they ended the series, and so um, no, in this case, I will not um, rate the series because probably I could not, I cannot consider myself uh, a person that could judge the series in a neutral standpoint of view because I cannot. So I will not rate the series. The only thing that I say is that the series is enjoyable, is good. The first plots, especially the first plot, for me was not so appealing. The plot against Pallas and this last arc against Saturn were excellent. The new characters, the new saints, were interesting ones. Koga, Yuna, Soma, Aruto, they were all interesting characters. Even Subaru. Uh, and the powers were interesting. I like to see those powers into action. Um, the final goal of the series, reaching the Omega, it was a concept, is an interesting concept. However, like I did say, the old saints, it was very strange why they did not have reached this. For me, it does not make sense. But like again, I reaffirm this. I cannot judge the series in a neutral standpoint of view because I have a old connection with Saint Seiya that comes from my youth. So I cannot be a judge, an impartial judge in this subject. So I only could say that watch the series. Probably you will not find the first arc so interesting, but the series gains his own pacing, his own story time, his own character development, plot development. The battle scenes were intense. Some fights were intense, emotional. I like that on the series. And if you like action series with related with some story, mythology, and such, it's also a good way to learn something about different cultures, other stories, mythologies, and such. These series are a good way for younger generations, in the least, to have a notion or to see something, or perhaps to make them become interested in study for themselves about what is behind the concept of the series. In the least, I do hope so. So this is it. These are my final impressions and thoughts on Saint Seiya Omega. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Stay well, peace, and see you soon.